fucking hear me, you insect? Come on!
Raiden, you're scaring me.
Tariq told me everything. I know what you did that night in Trace's room when Tariq was fucked up on his birthday.
Oh my god.
The fact that you try and sleep with my best friend?
He's a good kid. So what's up? We got no idea who did this shit or what?
Tommy! Open this door! Tommy!
Let's face the music and dance.
We're gonna build a train so big, it can't be stopped.
All right. So. We only got like, well, at least, where we at? I think one more week until we get that Power Book 2 Ghost Season 4, the finale. And there's going to be a lot of stuff that's going to happen. Some deaths, some surprises. Most likely, there's going to definitely be some surprises that's going to actually happen. But I wanted to talk about, like, I guess some returns and maybe some possible revenge stories that could happen and maybe some deaths that could occur. Because let's talk about our boy Rashad Tate. Because Rashad, he's been around for quite a while, right? And you could say that he is, I guess, like one of the OG members of like the original Power that's still around, besides like 2-Bit, Tasha, and then Rashad Tate, right? Like, you know, part of OG, right? That's been there for like quite a while. And you gotta wonder, like, what would actually happen? What will actually happen to his character, right? And will he actually die in this last finale? Because I think this would be kind of crazy, and this would be like the big one. Because I think, didn't he get elected? I believe he got elected to being governor. I believe, yes, I think he did. I gotta check, because I believe he got elected to being governor of, I guess, New York or something. So, or was it Albany? I think New York. So I'm thinking, I'm like this. So I believe that if this man was to, like, I don't know, because he's still useful. That's the thing, because Tariq can still like getting contact with him, because he's still useful for certain things until he's no longer useful. Because remember, towards the ending of the last season, when he basically gave up the whole that it was a Ponzi scheme, and then he told you know, the feds, and then the whole raid and all this other stuff happened, because he was just like, yeah, I got a source and this and that or whatever, because he was trying to like do something, and then Tariq was like, nah, he's not trying to have it or whatever. So he was just like, yeah, this man trying to screw me over, he's just like his dad or whatever. So he told him about the whole Ponzi scheme, and he basically kind of like screwed the pooch there. So I wonder, like, how long will Rashad Tate be useful, right, until something actually happens? Because I was thinking, like, if Tariq was to kill Rashad Tate, right, and then pin everything on Noma, I mean, I think that would be kind of interesting as well too, because Noma is already a threat. She's already a threat. But then again, I would say no, because Tariq wants her operation and everything that she has, so I don't think it would actually work. But I mean, I'm thinking that his death could be out of nowhere, right? Or it could be premeditated. So we just gonna have to like wait and see like what's gonna actually happen to his character as well, because I'm like, something like when Sax died, right, in the last season, when Sax died, I mean, I felt like it should have happened in the original Power than in book 2, because I felt like he overstayed his welcome. Like, everybody in the original Power was dying, and he was kind of like the last guy remaining until he died in book 2. And I don't know, I felt like his death was meaningless. Even though, yeah, he was firing shots beyond the grave, but he was sending out letters, and he was basically playing dirty towards the end, which was cool. But I felt like, to me, to be honest, like, yeah, it was interesting and cool that he did all these things, but I don't know, I just felt like, when you think about it now, I'm like, like, his death was, like, really meaningless. Like, it should have been in the original Power. Like, in my opinion, it should have been when both Tommy and Ghost came up in his place, and they killed him there. I think it would have been perfect right there. But again, he died the way he died, and that was like pretty much the end of that. And I was also thinking too of like maybe some original characters that could come back, because I always talked about, like, you know, the potentials of Tariq, you know, what he did to a lot of people. He screwed over a lot of people. He had basically help set up other people to kill other people, and it was really wrong on his part as well, because he thought that by becoming a drug dealer, this is the life that he should be living, until he realized that that's not the life that he wanted. So I was thinking about characters like Elisa Marie, like would she come back, and would something actually happen there? Even though I'm still leaning onto her comeback is gonna be in Powerbook Full Force, because I think that settled between her and Tommy needs to really be settled though. I think ultimately if she does come back, I think it might be for Tommy, but I still would have preferred it if she would have maybe, I don't know, reached out to Tariq or this and that or whatever, and try to like piece together about that night, or like what actually happened, right? Because at this point it's really no secret. It's really no secret that that Tariq killed Ghost. It's really no secret. So I was kind of thinking like if she was trying to like put together some pieces as well, like events that happened that night or whatever, and then maybe she thinks of it and be like, maybe Tariq tried to kill Ghost, but then he failed that night, and then her father died, and then which prompted Tommy to basically say like, hey, if you ever want to settle this, come back, you can come for me again. So I don't know, I would have liked it if she would have came back, because sure, Tariq said what he said all those years ago, he lied, right, to cover his tracks about the events that happened that night with Joe Proctor. But I was thinking like, since she would become much older, maybe she would ask Tariq again to be like, what really happened? Because I don't know, I feel like she's another guest character that can come back, but I'm thinking it probably might be in Full Force for Tommy. I strongly believe that as well. Like, or I'm thinking as well too, because she would have to get like some sort of information from Tariq. It has to be something that she puts Tariq in, like in a situation or whatever, for him to give up Tommy's location, or something like she may even gets a hold of his phone or Tasha's phone or whatever to be like, okay, where Tommy's located, or something for her to like try to go after him, because she wouldn't know. Elisa Marie wouldn't know where Tommy is at, because remember, he's still technically dead though. He's still dead. He faked his whole death and everything, so he's technically still dead. So I'm thinking there's going to be some way for her to get the information of where Tommy's actually located, and then she probably might take it all from there. So keep in mind now for like her as well, I was also thinking about like another character of maybe Destiny, like the woman that Tariq actually was sleeping around with when he was a teenager. I was thinking about her too, like she can also come back as well. I was gonna say like a thing like, oh, maybe she probably was pregnant with like Tariq's kid or something. Like maybe she got knocked up at 16, but she didn't really want to tell Tariq anything because he lost Raina at the time. Now that would be a story that he lost his sister, and then she knew that Ray Ray did it, but Ray Ray was basically hiding out somewhere. So I don't know. I was also thinking about that too, but I was also thinking if she was to come back, I don't know. I mean, it wouldn't really be anything because, the time when Tommy came in and threatened her, like, yo, where's Ray Ray at? But I don't know. If she was to come back, I would probably think it would be maybe for that reason. But again, if it's not, and it's probably like some sort of revenge shit, like, well, because I think Ray Ray was her cousin, I believe. I think he was her cousin, so it would kind of be like, well, you kind of killed my cousin, this and that or whatever. So, I don't know. Like, she would be an interesting character as well to come back to and see, because do you know what Courtney Kemp always said before? There's always characters that make like a grand surprise, because remember, 2-Bit came back. And the last time we seen 2-Bit was in the first season of Powerbook 2 Ghost. So it's always like that. It's always like these special characters that we may have forgotten about that would always make like a grand return. Because remember Liliana. Like, remember with Liliana, like, we obviously, like, if those who was like watching Power like religiously and had like a really great memory and they remembered her off the bat, then kudos to you for having like a really great memory. But I know, and for some other people who watched it, completely forgot about her, because I was like, who? And two, I seen like some videos and I had to go back and I was like, oh, okay, so she was basically part of like Ghost's crew, but then Ghost let her go, and then that's when she fled to Chicago. So Yeah, like I said, we gotta like keep in mind of like those characters as well for to make like a comeback as well. And the other person who I'm pretty sure the Power fan base is really curious about too is Ramona, because Ramona just basically ghosted after Ghost's death. Like, she was gone, so it's like, okay, we need to put some sort of like story to her. Like, we need to have this to be relived again. Like, yo, what happened to Ramona? What she was doing for all this time, and what would she actually do? Now, again, I don't think she would have any sort of say so towards Tariq unless she was there that night to see what happened. But I highly doubt it. Highly doubt it. Right? But again, for her to come back, it would be interesting, but it would have to be something maybe on the political side of things, right? Or because remember, she was gonna be with James St. Patrick, because I think at the time Ghost was trying to become a governor, I believe at the time. So she was gonna be with him, but ultimately Tariq killed him and all. But I'm kind of wondering, like, what would she actually do, and what will her story be like when it comes down to everything. And also too, I was also thinking Ray Ray, because something brings up, like, because I know we're gonna have Detective Don Carter, like, he's gonna be on the task force and trying to like handle the whole drugs, and we all know he's gonna cross paths with like Tariq and the rest of the gang. But I was kind of thinking about like Ray Ray and all, because I was like, well, what if that was to be brought back up again? Like, okay, a dirty cop died, facing against the St. Patrick's or whatever. Because remember, Blanca. Because remember when Blanca was trying to go after the St. Patrick's, and it was just like, she obviously failed. She failed to get Ghost, and she failed to get Tariq. Again, we have to like look into a lot of these things, like possible returns and people from like the original task force. Also too, remember I think Caden. Remember, I think Caden, because when the time when Tommy brought Cash over to Caden's house, and he was just like who killed Lakeisha? Like what's going, like, would he return as well? Like, would he return, and would anybody from the original task force that was trying to bring down Ghost, would they return as well? And also, too, Paz. Like, I'm telling you, all these possibilities, because remember, Tasha, basically said she saved Tommy from Lakeisha, because Lakeisha was gonna, stooge him out, right? So she saved him from that. And then, basically, Tommy he did protect Tasha by not saying anything to Caden about like, oh, who took out Lakeisha, right? So it's just like, you gotta, well, at the time I think he didn't know. I think at the time he didn't know, because he thought Ghost did it, but Ghost didn't do it. And he told him he said, I know you didn't do it. So that was a whole different thing at the time. But it's just like, all of these original characters, you gotta look at and be like, would they actually come back to either get some sort of questionings for Tariq, to be like, well, Tariq, what's going on here and this and that. You gotta look into a lot of these things though, because a lot of stuff that's actually gonna happen is gonna be crazy. So just look out for that. Just look out for that. But overall, what do you think of the possible returns for Power Book 2 Ghost the last season? Season 4, which I think, like, do you think like any of these original characters from the original Power is actually gonna come back? Do you think some of them might actually approach Tariq? Do you think Tasha might actually get approached? Because I mean, you would think that Caden would have approached Tasha. You would think too, because I mean, they was friends. You would think he'd be like, yo, what happened to Lakeisha? Like what's going on? Like, you would think, right? Because that kind of just left it as, oh, Tommy's gonna handle it, but Tommy knows that he's not gonna do anything, and he's in Chicago. So you would think though, because technically he did break his promise, you could say, to Caden, but like, you gonna fix this and this thing. He didn't fix anything, and the nigga just went to Chicago. So man, I can't wait. This is gonna be so good. But like, comment, subscribe, and share, and I catch you all in the next one.